I'm terribly, deeply honored to think that this would ever come my way. I'm totally undeserving of this. I stumbled upon Asia early in my life. It transformed who I am. It has been part of my career every step of my life. And the Asia Society figured very prominently in my life in the sense that so many of those associated with the Asia Society were beyond my reach. They were the leaders. They were the diplomats. They were the business tycoons. They were folks who kind of sort of set the agenda for U.S.-Asian relations from a cultural and a political standpoint. So to become closer to them during my career and ultimately to serve on the board was a career highlight. And then to receive this honor as a game changer, where there's so many people who have changed the game far more than I have, is really, really something that I will cherish for the rest of my life, truly. You know, it was partially a young man from the American West in the late 1970s, post-Vietnam, who had no understanding of the power of U.S. choices on countries overseas. So I literally was in Taiwan and the region during the rise of the region economically and politically, when economies were small, when they were still relatively undeveloped. And so I was part of that early period where the fascination in what my country did, how the region, Asia Pacific, would respond, how people cared deeply about what the United States did. I had no concept of politics at all. Nobody cared, what our politicians did. But then to be in a country where everything we uttered and every move we made somehow impacted them, and they had a point of view on it, was something I had never appreciated. And I walked out of that experience thinking, my country really does move the market. I had no concept of that. But these countries are moving very, very quickly. I can feel it under my feet. The transformation is just beginning, and I want to be part of that. I want to learn what's behind it, how the United States and Asia can avoid conflict and war, since most of the major wars of the last century have been fought in Asia. So it's going to take people with some sense of understanding. And I thought, I've never been more fascinated about anything in my life other than this. And I went down a rabbit hole and never recovered. Arriving at its 70th year, it's like its mission and purpose have never been more salient, more important. Right. So you might say that that's a throwaway line, but stop to ponder the world and the lack of connectedness that we have today versus what we had a generation ago, for example. Something's going on that is creating a sense of isolationism, a sense of xenophobia, a sense of fear of external engagement, and it's not leaving us better and stronger. And there aren't a lot of organizations that can help to heal the current situation and what we're likely to face in the coming years. Encouraging and promoting connectivity, people exchanges, cultural and art exchanges, political dialogue, convening leaders where they can really sit around a table in ways where understanding each other first and foremost should drive our discussion. Let's understand each other and then get onto the substance. Because if it's the other way around, we're going to have a head-on collision. You get nowhere. So I'd say the 70th anniversary is about the most important milestone for the Asia Society in terms of the need for what it provides and offers. Never been more important.